Emirates Interview, group exercise number 1. You're struggling like crazy and can't manage passing it. Don't worry, we got you covered. Hi, I'm Orlando and you're watching WishCasting. We do travel guides and Emirates Airline tutorials every Wednesday and Sunday at 5 p.m. plus 2 GMT. A lot of you have asked me to do this video on our Emirates Wannabees Facebook group. It's sort of a platform that puts Emirates employees and aspiring crew members in the same room. Find the link in the description and join us. Let's get on the computer. There are several steps to an Emirates interview. It usually starts with a CV drop-off, group exercise number 1, reach test, group exercise number 2, and the final interview. Because you guys voted for the group exercise number 1 for me to clarify how it works and give you some insights about it, you asked for it through a poll on the Emirates Wannabees Facebook group. You received enough votes, and that's why I'm doing this video. Let's take a look at group exercise number 1. This link in the upper right corner is our MasterClass series on joining Emirates. It's free. Follow it from the beginning to the very end. The group exercise number 1 is done in couples. You receive a card with a scenario. You have 5 minutes to prepare a 30-second presentation. Candidates are put into large circular groups. Each group is of around 30 people, and you are divided into couples. Now this happens every single time for every single open day. Sometimes it can be 40 people, sometimes it can be 20 people. It depends on how large the open day is. You receive one card with a scenario, and the card scenario has 4 questions on its back. Now let's take a look at a sample of that. You can see on the left-hand side 2 passengers traveling in Emirates business class, and on the right-hand side you see 4 questions. Where is the couple going to? What are they talking about? Where does the couple come from? Describe the picture. Now you get to pick only one. You get 5 minutes to prepare a 30-second presentation. In those 5 minutes you have to cooperate and learn the name of your partner, maybe where he comes from, and he will learn your details too. You will choose how to discuss the scenario. Is it going to be in first person or in third person? First person is like, oh, I love the seat, it's beautiful, it's my first time I'm going in business class, I love it. And the third person way is like, Betty and Joe are going on their beautiful honeymoon to Kuala Lumpur and it's their first time in business class. So that's third person. It's important that you choose who picks which question on the back. You can't both choose the same question and you can't argue about it. The recruiter will be going around the circle, and if he sees you arguing over this, it will be very bad for you. You might both be rejected. And another thing that you can't argue over is to who starts the exercise. So you can't both stand up at the same time, and you can't both start talking and then one puts the voice over the other. It starts getting awkward, people can see it, feels uncomfortable, and the recruiter will definitely reject you. So keep that in mind too. Now during these 5 minutes, the recruiter is observing a whole lot your level of cooperation. If you haven't watched our video yet of the scoring system that the Emirates Recruiters use, I really recommend you go and watch it. Anyways, the recruiter is noting down for every single couple, for every single candidate, what he's doing right, what he's doing wrong. If you guys are not cooperating and you're talking on top of each other, just not talking to each other in a proper way, you're not gonna accumulate any points and you're gonna be discarded. Before the 30-second presentation, the recruiter might give you some tips, and they usually give you 1 tip. If the recruiter is kind, she might give you more tips. Now, because we are kind, we will give you 4 tips. Remember, not following these simple tips will definitely fail you. Now, this is a diagram of the 4 tips we will be giving you. Now, depending on the recruiter, as I said, she might give you a couple of these tips, maybe more. It really depends. That's why I recommend going to open days where there's fewer candidates, because you can create this sort of personal touch with the Emirates recruiter. She'll kind of be more nice to you and she'll give you more tips. Let's check the first tip. The first tip is don't look at the recruiter the whole time. While you talk, look at the rest of the group. This is a group exercise, not an individual exercise. Show the picture to everyone. So you're given a card with 4 questions on the back and a scenario on the front. Show the scenario to everyone. Don't just put it in front of you and talk. Make sure everyone sees it. The third tip is answer to 1 question only. A lot of people tend to do 2 questions, sometimes 3, because they didn't listen to the guidelines and they're overdoing it. Well, doing that is going to be very bad because it shows that you're selfish and self-centered. Just 1. You have a 30-second entitlement. Don't exceed those 30 seconds time you're given. If you follow all those 4 tips you're given, you will definitely pass. Of course, you have to look at your body language, the way you talk, your posture, and your fists, if they're clenched or relaxed. There's a lot of factors, but these are 4 tips that if you keep in mind, if you bear in mind, it will definitely enhance your possibilities, your chances of getting into the company. Why people fail this exercise? Let's take a look at these 4 points. Number 1, this is a group focus. You're not doing an individual activity. If you talk to the recruiter the whole time, you're not cooperating as a team. Guidelines. Failing to follow simple guidelines is a clear sign that you're not ready for Emirates. Now, the recruiter will give you a couple of guidelines, and if you don't follow those guidelines, that means that either you weren't listening or you were listening, but you're so anxious and you're so worried of the outcome that you can't keep those guidelines at mind. If you can't keep in mind the guidelines that the recruiter gave you initially and you're already panicking in such a friendly situation, I mean, you don't even have a job to lose. There's only a recruiter in front of you and young people your age. If you're worried that much now, how can you possibly handle a stressful situation on board while you're working for Emirates? You're definitely not ready. Talking too much, you're given 30 seconds. Don't overdo it. You'll appear self-centered, and a lot of people fail that. Bad body language, worried tone, not being able to dialogue is another clear sign you're not ready for Emirates. If you're talking to a passenger that is very upset because he didn't get what he asked for, or he's been ignored for the whole flight and he's traveling, for example, in business class, so it's like a failure from the point of view of customer service, and you have bad body language, you cross your arms, you clench your fists, you have an angry face, and you have a worried tone, these are all signs that the passenger will pick up. He will eat you alive. Try to use those 4 tips we spoke about before, and the group exercise number 1 will be yours. You'll pass it 100% for sure. The objective here is to first cooperate and then present well. The recruiter will look out for these skills: English fluency, general oral fluency, confidence, so body language, posture, etc. If you respect the tips and the guidelines she provided you earlier, make sure you impress the recruiter by exceeding in all the above points. Let's start the scenario. Orlando from the United States, James from Sri Lanka. We received this picture right here depicting a couple, super happy couple, traveling with Emirates in economy class. The question we chose on the very back is, what is the couple doing and where are they going to? The couple is going to Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, and they're extremely happy because it's their first time there, it's their dream holiday destination, and they're flying with Emirates, which is the most premium cabin they've ever flown with. So this is the reason why they're extremely happy and they're smiling with all their teeth out. James? That's it for today's video. If you liked it, smash that like button, subscribe, do whatever makes you happy. I shall see you on our next video.